This is the first appearance on the ZFL show for the Phangorn Falcons. And one player in particular who is making something of a name for himself in the ZFL and wider Blood Bowl world at the moment. And that is Dancel Saunders. Now, for those of you who are unaware of Dancel Saunders, he is not your traditional Wood Elf catcher. His stats don't quite match up to what you might expect from a Wood Elf catcher. But he has been taking the second division by storm so far this season. And he's getting very, very popular. This is a big game for the Falcons. They reached this stage of the competition for the first time. The Enchanters, who they face, were knocked out in the round of 16 by the Sartosa Deckhands last season. This is third in the second division, taking on third in the elite division. So the Enchanters will be heavy, heavy favourites for this game. Now the Falcons have been running up the touchdowns in the second division. They are just off the back of a 4-0 win over the Dead Rock Tyrants, which featured a hat-trick for Tardis Patel and a touchdown for Dancel Saunders as well. The pair have scored a combined 7 touchdowns this season and are second and third respectively in the whole ZFL for the most SPP earned. Now for the Enchanters, Lucas Albion has thrown a ZFL high 6 passes so far this season. Now, something that I'm sure Viking Cop will have an opinion on is the ZFL MVP. Magic Montgomery was the most popular player in the ZFL last season. Very, very exciting player. But under new head coach Mark Bielsick, he's been employed in a more reserved role. So, comparing the stats for Montgomery after 3 Elite Division games this season compared to last season. So last season, Montgomery had scored 2 touchdowns, inflicted a casualty, and achieved 3 sacks on opposing ball carriers, while he also led the league for dodge turnovers with 5. Now this season, Montgomery scored 1 touchdown and inflicted 1 casualty, but he's not made a single sack or a dodge turnover at all this season. Now, no dodge turnovers is good, of course, but it does imply he's being used in a much more reserved fashion, does it not, Viking Cup?
He does. He is. He is indeed. It's a totally different role from the flash and aggressiveness that was his characteristic signature last season, paired up with Restrada, who was also being very aggressive in the play. Now the Enchanters under Bielsick are playing in a way more defensive style, which is producing good results so far, but also it feels like both star players are being underused. And I've heard some rumors, and I cannot say my source because ZFL and stuff, that they are not really enjoying this that much.
Well, there's nothing that a win won't do to make you feel better about the game. And the Enchanters, to be fair, are undefeated so far this season. They are 2 wins and a draw in the Elite Division, and they came through the previous round of the Howitzer Cup against the Michigan Mustangs, the dwarf team with the Death Roller, of course. Now, the Falcons did knock out Elite Division opposition in the previous round, knocking out Vince Gore Defiant and, of course, Jack Oberwald in that controversial ending where the referee blew the full-time whistle early just as Oberwald was about to score. Can the Falcons claim another upset?
For the moment being, they can claim to have a beautiful stadium. Look at this.
Yeah, Phangorn on the coast, it seems.
It's a coastal wood.
So it's Guinness in charge of Falcons and Mark Bielsick in charge of the Enchanters. The Falcons in blue and the Enchanters in their change kit of white with a sort of very faded blue.
Which produces the lowest level of, let's say, collusion in terms of colors for the teams, right?
Intensive training has given Alpha Chad Dauntless.
Very useful if he wants to get into a fight with Biftech.
Indeed. Alpha Chad, a player we've not really mentioned, and there's good reason for that. He had an incredible opening game of the season, did Alpha Chad. Absolutely dominating the Quintex City Assassins. But he's not really done anything since then. And it's got a lot of people saying, well, you know, dominating the Quintex City Assassins is not really that difficult, actually. So maybe Alpha Chad isn't all that.
It was an early call even to get some Alpha Chad mech. I remember that.
Knockdown there from Christoph Schuff to open the game, and Biff Tech opens the game with a POW, but typically no armor break from the Ogre. You can dress him up in nice armor, but you won't get him to do anything. Here comes Magic Montgomery with the hit on Chocus the Vast, and Montgomery finds a stun to open his game. Lucas Albion gets the ball at the second time of asking and is going to sit in the backfield for the time being.
And All Reliable wants to get a talk with Biftech. Oh, look at this. Who wants to have... Okay, fails Dauntless. Oh, that's a reroll. That's red dice.
Fails Dauntless twice. A 2 into a 1 on the Dauntless, but we get away with it on the red die block. Was very keen to get through that gap that a knockdown could have produced there. The Falcons have won 2 second division games so far this season. They've beat the Dead Rock Tyrants and they've beat the Quintex City Assassins. They lost 4-2 to the 3 Mountains. They conceded 4 touchdowns to Dwarfs.
And that's basing the ball. That's aggressive.
That's Tardis Patel going through. Gergo Blackburn. The sidestep war dancer.
Oh, failed the final dodge.
Now, we should talk about Dancel Saunders, of course. Dancel Saunders is the leader of the team. He has Leap and Leader, because he only takes skills that begin with L. But you can see his stats don't quite match up. The most common question in a Misspelled Tree stream is, what is going on with that catcher? Why haven't you fired him? Dancel is movement 7, agility 4+, armor value 7+. But he's not injured. Those are just his stats. He's perfectly healthy. We might be going to see a 3 dice on Tardis Patel here. The top scorer for the Falcons so far this season. Magic Montgomery is going to introduce himself to the catcher. And Magic Montgomery gets the casualty and they're seriously hurt.
Well, he's been given 2 chances to do Magic Montgomery things. And he has succeeded both times with an armor break into stun and armor break into a removal. And this reeks of a foul.
Into the cage goes Albion. As we see an attempt from Biff Tech on the tree. All reliable. That won't get it done. And we're certainly surrounding that war dancer. We're going to red dice the tree. And that won't work out either.
All reliable is very reliable.
Alpha Chad going to take a hit on Louis Tabard, and that is going to be wrestled to the ground by the bodyguard. Just leave Alpha Chad on the floor. The Enchanters don't have a bench today, and they also don't really have much of a fouling game. They've got a couple of rookie retainer linemen going around, but not much in the way of dirty players or anything like that. So they're not the strongest fouling team.
There can be a leap from Glego. No, it's a dodge. More dodges.
Easy game for the
Dodging
War
is easy.
Dancer. Oh, and the tree is wrestled to the floor by Lorenzo Dragoni.
Beefsteak is at the moment the player who is most forward of the entire Enchanters team, which is very much surprising. The Enchanters are moving towards the tree, which can be considered sometimes a questionable choice.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's
But
all the elves are over here, I suppose. Magic Montgomery's going to take the blitz onto the rookie, Legless Spirit Lush. The knockdown does not get the armor break this time. No, I don't think Albion's got the movement to get into that cage without rolling a rush, so we might be going to sit a little bit further back here. Yeah, the thrower's just going to sit in the back part of this cage. Attempt to dodge from Louis Tabard fails. Okay, All Reliable staying on the floor and has rooted. We're going to see Alpha Chad, sorry. Blitz on Pancho Agosto. Not a lot coming out of the War Dancer today, but it's early days.
No, not really. Right now, the Wood Elves are trying to keep the distance just a little bit and protecting their key players.
It's all very sensible so far. Nothing super exciting going on for the time being. You'd expect the Enchanters will be fine with that. You would think the Elite Division side are more likely to be able to grind out a result here.
No player is really in close range of Magic Montgomery, meaning that he cannot hit and run far away, which I don't know if it's bad or good, but so far it's working. That case is a bit too forwards, I would say, to be a real cage, unless we're going to see a pass.
Possibly. Andrea Restrada's moved forward. Magic Montgomery's going to take the blitz on Sasha Guayuli. And that's another armor break. 3 out of 4 armor breaks for Montgomery. This one is a stun. And there is going to be a pass from Albion to Andrea Restrada, and we have made it.
Hey, pass and catch are good skills. Look at this.
We did them both, but we got there.
I'm not sure if that was a good move from the bodyguard, considering that the tree is rooted and it's not going anywhere. So basing him is not really...
no need to base the tree, really.
Yeah. But okay.
Knocked down from Alpha Chads.
Producing nothing. Alpha Chad is not having a great season after this first game, don't you think so?
No, it's been quite quiet, to be honest. I think there was a lot of hype around Alpha Chad, but he's not really delivered besides that one performance against the Quintex City Assassins. And again, does that really count? Is the question.
Okay, here we have Beefsteak finally deciding to go Bonehead. Oh, the Enchanters have 4 rerolls.
Yeah, leader on Albion, of course. I would say the Falcons not really doing much to get in the way of the score here. They're more just looking to protect the team. There's going to be a blitz from Montgomery onto Gergo Blackburn. Wouldn't have hated a reroll.
No great reroll. No great reroll, considering you have 4.
Yeah, I wouldn't have hated a reroll there. So it's Restrada with possession. It's the rest of his team protecting against whatever the Falcons might have in mind. Alpha Chad's going to take a blitz on Zoltan Pepper, who's racking up the injuries in his short career. Medium-term career. He's been around a little while, actually, now, Pepper. A few more blocks to take here for the Falcons, who are really just looking for any sort of removal they can get. There's no bench for the Enchanters. That's a 1 in 9 against Lucas Albion, and that's a stun on Chockers the Vast. Well, the Enchanters under no pressure to score here. Albion takes the hit on Josh Verity Boone. And there's going to be another blitz from Montgomery. This time we are going for Dancel Saunders. Okay. Chance to hit one of the key players.
Yeah, Saunders is fine, even with the armor bust.
Oh, and Restrada scores. Enchanters have the lead. Well, no stalling from Bielsik's side.
That's very good for the show, and we appreciate that.
The moment, just the one casualty in what's been a bit of a keeping each other at arm's length sort of bout. Not seen this one really spring into life. But there's still time.
It's down 5. I'm not sure if it's down 5 or 6. And oh, it's 3 bribes.
It's turn
Everybody
6.
should be very happy.
And it is 3 bribes for both sides. All reliable with the knockdown on Nicolas Carvalho Ferreira.
Oh, gets him. Carvalho is badly hurt. He will be back, but he will not draw the apple.
Alpha Chad's going to try and make a hole in the defense here. This wasn't the best defensive setup from the Enchanters. There's a gap here for the Wood Elves to expose, and Alpha Chad gets the KO.
And a removal from Chad. Oh, unbelievable things. And Saunders goes through.
Saunders is through. Heinlove is through.
Heinlove rushes to support his colleague.
Now, there's no thrower on this Wood Elf team. They did sell their thrower before the season started to the Torlithanel Rangers. Fabulous Beach it was who made the move to Torlithanel. That is going to be re-rolled into a snake.
Oh, snake dodge, snake rush.
Chockers the Vast going down. So there are 2 scoring threats here in Pine Love and Dancel Saunders. There's another turn after this, so there's still time. That's not a knockdown. Again, Montgomery could have gone for the reroll there, but Bielsik playing very, very safe.
And now Saunders is in the middle of a scrum. Not exactly the place he really wants to be, but all of a sudden, the left flank is very, very open.
Alpha Chad's looking to go that way by the looks of it. Double push only on Morten Oye, which does help from a Enchanter's perspective. But I think that ball is going to go down this flank. Now, it's Spirit Lush in possession. Is Spirit Lush going to have the range from there? I don't think so. So this is going to need a handoff somewhere to another scoring threat.
I think it's going to be either Alpha Chad.
Saunders makes the dodge from tackle.
Saunders is the star the team wants.
Dodge from Chockers the Vast. And another snake from Chockers the Vast.
Another snake, my goodness.
He's too fast for... He's too fast, sorry, not fast, for these sort of dodge plays. Okay. What can the Enchanters do? It's going to be tough to stop this. A lot of players that could potentially score here. Montgomery's going to go for Alpha Chad. Now we're going to see the reroll. Doesn't get the job done.
No, Chad is getting better and better in this game. Did not start strong, but this drive is being the player we saw in the first round of the season.
Knocked down there from Pancho Agosto. And an armor break
Is
on
what you
Guayuni.
is a stand, just a push.
That does free up another player. Humphrey Zendelli. Who's going to come round to base Lucas Albion. And it's going to be Verity Boone to make the blitz onto the thrower. Would have preferred a knockdown there if we're going to go the Gergo Blackburn route. Try and score. It would be... Oh, it is a handoff. It's a 3+ handoff. The 3+ dodge is good. The 2+ dodge is good. And we're a rush from the end zone. And that's a failure. No, we're in. Gergo Blackburn equalises for the Phangorn Falcons. It's 1-1 at half-time.
Oh, Blackburn is very happy. He's been always behind the lights for Alpha Shad the entire season. And he's been playing great. So it's really good news for him that he manages to score a touchdown to tie the game.
So it's advantage Falcons then, because they'll receive the ball for this second half. And they're up on players if that KO doesn't come back for Espernon. There's going to be 10 Wood Elves. What's going to happen with the KO? The KO does come back. So it's going to be 10 versus 10 for the second half in.
Yeah, no bench for the Enchanters is surprising. I thought that they had enough resources from the funding from Spen Betal to get some extra players.
They've got players who are injured for this game. The tree's set up very deep here. So they do have players who... Oh, that's an injury straight away. Is that Alpha Chad with the opening block? It's a broken arm on Pancho Agosto.
It was Chad.
Chad's got it done and he's retreating backwards. Well, the whole Wood Elf team...
Yeah, the whole Wood Elf team is moving backwards. The tree does not need to move backwards because he is already backwards. I'll say.
It looks like the pickup is going to be probably from Humphrey Zendelli. It is indeed.
That's going to be a handoff.
Handoff to Dancel Saunders with the catch skill. Dancel Saunders has the ball.
Oh, Dancel Saunders with the ball. The leader of the team has the ball. Which is the reaction from the Enchanters to this kind of retreat move from the Falcons.
Well, the Falcons clearly not interested in getting involved in the start of the second half. They're just going to hold a position just beyond halfway.
Baby, that's a raid that is just in time.
That is,
I'll say.
Miss Beltree, thank you very much for the raid. We are just catching up on the Falcons game against the Enchanters. So no spoilers in the chat, please, just in case anyone who's been watching it with us hasn't seen the game yet. At the moment, it's 1-1. Dancel Saunders has the ball, but the Wood Elves are going the wrong way.
Yeah, because this is not the touchdown line.
Runs into the end zone.
As well as Blackburn and Chad.
It's the wrong end zone, Dancel.
4 Wood Elves in their own end zone. Biftech moves forwards. I'm sure he's very confused about this.
This is, well, we've gone the wrong way. The Enchanters are chasing. There's not a lot of action to commentate on here, I must say.
Yeah, it's a lot of movement and positioning, but no dice have been rolled in 2 entire turns.
Oh, well, the first one we do roll, it's a 1. The tree is going to take root back there, which feels less than ideal. So now the Falcons make a move towards the right flank as we see it.
They are not even taking the blitz. They may be taking the blitz somewhere else.
I mean, I guess we could go after the thrower on that side, Albion. They have a numbers advantage, do the Wood Elves. They're up by a player with that injury to Agosto. And it is going to be a blitz from Chokus the Vast. Master of snakes in the first half, but he finds a pow this time. And an injury!
Oh, Albion is out! This is throwing the Apo.
Albion's okay.
Okay. That was a nice move.
That does burn
Standing
that
up.
leader reroll.
Indeed. Now the Enchanters are down to 2. To be fair, the Falcons have punched twice in 3 turns, and they have produced 2 casualties.
Yeah. Wood Elf Bash team, please nerf.
I thought it was the Imperials who were strong.
Magic Montgomery finds the KO.
Producing a KO. Trying to even the numbers. The Enchanters still down on numbers.
So again, the Enchanters just looking to screen this off. It might be that Ray Strada here is the weak link. It's going to be Alpha Chad to try and pow fish. And Alpha Chad finds the pow on Andrea Ray Strada. So that does open up a gap for the Falcons to try and take advantage of. It feels like an ambitious cage, because Dancel Saunders ain't going to get there in a hurry.
Well, he has the leader skill.
Here goes Saunders.
That's gonna need a rush. That's no rush.
2 rushes to get him in there. Dodge away from Verity Boone. So the Falcons doing a good job of just finding the gaps on the field and progressing forward with the ball. Leaving the Enchanters chasing shadows at the moment. That
is one reroll gone. The Enchanters down to 1. They've lost 2 in 2 turns. 1 to the leader. And the other to the failed rush.
Oh, and Montgomery!
Oh, that's another failed rush. My God.
So now
no
all the
rerolls
rerolls
for
are
the
gone.
Enchanters now.
And we've got a lot of players who've got a lot of movement to do with rushes. There's 2 rushes from Louis Tabard just to get over and into range. Presumably Ray Strada's going to make a dodge to put tackle on both the War Dancers, and Biff Tech is going to knock down Sasha Guayuli. And it, oh my God, Biff Tech did a thing.
Oh, that was unexpected.
For like the 2nd time in his entire career, Biff Tech has hurt someone. Early reroll.
Well, that was a reroll.
Needed the knockdown there, Gurgle Blackburn. And then, look at that. Verity Boone finds the pow. Montgomery's down, and Montgomery is stunned.
But that leaves a gap for Saunders to go through.
Well, Saunders is
and
through.
To Chad to go and support. That's going to be endless.
There's the dodge from tackle from Alpha Chad. And it's looking very, very good. Until we did that. For the Phangorn Falcons. Hamza Pinelove with the stun. And Thick Skull did not save him.
Biff Tech is doing a great game. Now putting the leg in between the feet of that Wood Elf. This is totally advantage Falcons.
Oh, one die blade to the skull.
One die skull, no rerolls. Absolutely advantage Falcons.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge advantage. Saunders is going to continue, well, sauntering down the field. And this game is just passing Espernon by. Alpha Chad, who's had a much better game today, finds the armor break on Oya. Down as well goes Zoltan Pepper. But the Falcons are suddenly in complete control.
Absolute control of the pitch, of the ball, of the removals, of everything. I think that with Montgomery down, the Enchanters are feeling that, eh?
I mean, the tree has been crucial, presumably, for this drive. The Wood Elves is building a tree on the field somewhere. You build a tree? I don't know.
You plant the tree, right?
Going to be a foul from Lorenzo Dragoni. Oh, and that does produce a serious injury on Chokas the Vast, who has probably had that coming, to be honest, based on his performance today. Argue the call fails, but we do have that bribe.
I think this is the first foul of the game.
Yes, I do believe
so. That was
also
very, very disappointing.
There's still as much pressure as possible. from the Enchanters. Question will be, are the Falcons going to run in the score? No, they are going to stall this out down the field. That was a push because we don't have tackle on Alpha Chad.
Yeah, but this is leaving Restrada out of range from hitting the ball. Because that's a good screen, and now that's going to close the screen. No, that's not closing the screen. It's forcing Restrada to roll dice, if only to get in touch with the ball.
Can we base those ward answers? Yes, we can. We've got some rushes to roll here, if we are Mark Bielsick. Montgomery is miles out of the action. Here goes Restrada. Going to have a go at Alpha Chad. Gets the rush done. Gets the POW on the War Dancer. Gets the armor break. That could be big. It's Dancel Saunders now based by tackle. Here goes Biff Tech as well. He's going downtown, and he also bases Gergo Blackburn.
Oh.
Turn 16.
Oh, sure. Blackburn hitting and pushing away Restrada. It's free range for Saunders.
Dancel Saunders is going to score. The Falcons are on the verge of the Howitzer Cup quarter-finals. And this would be the second Elite Division team they've knocked out. Dancel Saunders, remember the name. Or don't. Up to you, really.
But he's performing great. And he has just scored the touchdown that put his team on the lead.
So there are a few casualties, but I think for the Enchanters, those casualties have arrived way too late in the game. And they've kind of been punished here for Bielsick's quick-fire scoring game plan. Because the Falcons have been able to 2-1 grind this. There's no setup for a one-turn here, so unless this is a timeout, it's not. It's a solid defense. The Falcons are going to run for the hills, and the Falcons are going to qualify for the quarterfinals of the Howitzer Cup. The Cinderella story is still alive. Here goes Magic Montgomery with the blitz on Josh Verity Boone. Armor break from Montgomery, and it is a KO. Oh, Albion's going to drop the pass in classic Lucas Albion fashion. And that's it. The Enchanters are out.
But that's a shocker.
We have an upset in the cup. A frankly disgraceful MVP for Chocus the Vast in that game. Biff Tech has block now.
Ooh. Make he produce something more than the odd stand every now and then?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to go as far to say that's a good ogre, but that simply would not be true.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there was a bit of a... There was some fairly harsh comments from Mark Bielsick after that game, accusing the Falcons of disgusting, unsportsmanlike behaviour with that second drive where they, you know, out of character here, they did the Dakar offense. But in character, they retreated back down the field and avoided all contact with the Enchanters for the most part of that second half. Bielsick not impressed, but his side have been dumped out of the competition by the Phangorn Falcons.